The call comes at 7:43 p.m. on a Tuesday, right when I'm finally settling into my couch with leftover Thai food and a glass of wine. Mom's voice practically vibrates through the phone with excitement. Riley, honey, your father and I have the most wonderful news. I pause mid bite of pad Thai. In my 32 years on this planet, wonderful news from Sarah and Dale has usually meant wonderful for everyone except me. My name is Riley, and I've been the family ATM for so long I should probably charge transaction fees. What's up, Mom? We're buying a vacation house, a real legacy property that can be passed down through generations. Isn't that exciting? I nearly choke on my noodles. A vacation house? That's sudden. Oh, it's been a dream of ours for years. You know how important family legacy is to us. We found this gorgeous place up in the mountains, and we want you to be part of it. There it is. The hook. They want me to be part of it, which in Price family speak means they want my money. Part of it how? Dad's voice joins the conversation, that jovial tone he uses when he's about to ask for something big. Well, kiddo, we were hoping you might want to invest in this with us. Make it a real family venture. Invest how much? 80,000. I set down my fork. $80,000. That's most of my savings, the money I've been carefully building for my own future, my own security. The money I've never touched, not even when they needed help with Summer's credit card debt or when they couldn't make their mortgage payment last year. That's a lot of money, Dad. But think about it, Riley. This could be our family's gathering place for decades. Somewhere we can all come together, make memories, somewhere your children and grandchildren can enjoy. Mom jumps back in. And Summer is so excited about it. She was just saying how she wishes she had a stable place to call home, somewhere she could really put down roots. Of course, Summer's involved. My cousin, the eternal victim, the family princess who's never met a crisis she couldn't turn into someone else's responsibility. At 29, she's still figuring herself out while the rest of us pay her bills. I need to think about it. Of course, honey, but don't think too long. The seller wants to close quickly, and we'd hate to lose this opportunity. After I hang up, I sit in my quiet apartment staring at the phone. This feels different from their usual requests, bigger, more calculated. There's something about Mom's tone, the way she mentioned summer, that sets off every alarm bell I've developed over the years. I call Tom. He answers on the second ring. Riley, everything okay? Tom Montgomery and I dated for 2 years before realizing we made better friends than lovers. He's a real estate attorney now, and one of the few people who truly understands my family dynamics. I need a favor, a big one. Shoot! My parents want me to invest in a vacation house. 80 grand. Something feels off about this whole thing. Off how? I don't know yet. But I want to protect myself. If I'm going to give them this money, I want ironclad documentation, legal protection, the works. Tom's quiet for a moment. You thinking they might try to screw you over? Tom, they've been screwing me over my entire life. I'm just usually too nice to do anything about it. And now? I look around my apartment at the life I've built entirely on my own without their help or interference. At the savings account I've grown through careful planning and sacrifice. At the stability I've created despite their constant chaos. Now I'm thinking it's time to be smarter about it. I can draft something up, make it look like standard investment paperwork, but with real teeth. If they try to cut you out, you'll have legal recourse. Perfect. And Tom, make sure whatever you draft, they can't just gift the property away without consequences. You got it. I'll have something ready by tomorrow. After we hang up, I pour myself another glass of wine and smile. They think I'm the same pushover daughter who's bailed them out countless times. The responsible one who always says yes, who always puts family first, who never asks questions. They're about to learn how wrong they are. I'm not as naive as they think. Not anymore. The closing is scheduled for Friday at 2 p.m. I arrive at Tom's office 15 minutes early, carrying a leather portfolio that makes me look more official than I feel. My hands are steady, but my heart is racing. You ready for this? Tom asks, sliding a thick stack of papers across his desk. As ready as I'll ever be. He points to various sections. Standard purchase agreement on top, but underneath are the loan documents. Interest rate is 15%, compounding monthly. If they default, the property becomes yours immediately. 15%? Isn't that high? It's predatory, Tom says flatly. But it's legal. And Riley, once they sign this, there's no going back. You sure about this? I think about last Christmas when Summer got a brand new car while I got a gift card to Target, about my college graduation when they spent my celebration dinner talking about Summer's latest drama, about every time they've called me their rock while treating me like their personal bank. I'm sure. My parents arrive exactly on time. Dad in his best suit, Mom clutching her purse like it contains the crown jewels. Summer trails behind them, looking bored and checking her phone. Riley! Mom rushes over to hug me. I'm so proud of you for doing this. It's going to be such a wonderful investment for our family. Where's the seller? I ask. Running a few minutes late. Tom says smoothly, but we can get started on the paperwork while we wait. He spreads the documents across the conference table. These are pretty standard: purchase agreement, financing terms, insurance requirements. Riley, since you're providing the funds, you'll need to sign as the primary lender. Dad barely glances at the papers before reaching for a pen. This is so exciting. I can already picture us all up there for Thanksgiving. Dad, you should probably read through everything first, I say. Oh, honey, it's just paperwork. Tom's a professional. Mom nods enthusiastically. Besides, we trust you completely. You've always been so good with these things. Summer finally looks up from her phone. How big is the master bedroom? I'm hoping it has a good view. It's beautiful, Mom says. Perfect for when you need to get away and recharge. I watch Summer's face light up. There's something expectant in her expression, like she already knows something I don't. Tom, can you explain the payment terms? I ask. Of course, the loan requires monthly payments of approximately $4,000, starting 30 days after closing. The full amount is due in 5 years, or the property reverts to the lender. Dad's pen freezes halfway to the signature line. 4,000 a month? That's what we discussed, Tom says calmly, based on the 80,000 principal and the agreed upon interest rate. I thought. Dad looks at Mom, then at me. Riley, I thought this was more of a family investment. Shared costs. It is a family investment, I say. I'm investing my money. You're investing in the payments. Mom's smile falters slightly. But honey, 4,000 a month is quite a lot. It's what you agreed to when you asked me to finance this, I say, unless you'd prefer to get a traditional mortgage. They exchange glances. We all know they can't qualify for a traditional mortgage, not with Dad's spotty employment history and their existing debt. No, no, Dad says quickly. This is fine. We'll make it work. He signs with a flourish. Mom signs next, her hand shaking slightly. Summer, you need to sign too, Tom says. As a beneficiary. Summer scrawls her signature without reading a single line. The seller arrives 20 minutes later, a harried looking woman who apologizes profusely and signs everything in record time. Keys are exchanged, congratulations are offered, and just like that, it's done. We should celebrate, Mom announces. Dinner at Romano's? I can't, I say, gathering my copies of the paperwork. I have plans. Oh, come on, Summer says. Don't be antisocial. This is a big day for the family. You're right, I say, smiling. It really is. I drive straight home and lock the documents in my fireproof safe right next to my passport and birth certificate. The papers that will change everything, signed without a single question asked. I pour myself a glass of wine and sit on my balcony, watching the sunset. They'll thank me one day, I whisper to myself. One day, when they finally understand what family loyalty really costs. The housewarming party invitation arrives via group text 3 weeks later. Mom's message is full of exclamation points and heart emojis. Family celebration at the new house, Saturday 2 p.m. Can't wait to see everyone together in our beautiful new space. I stare at the message. Our new space. Right. Saturday afternoon, I drive up the winding mountain road to the house. It really is beautiful, a rustic cabin with a wraparound porch and floor to ceiling windows. My $80,000 bought them a nice piece of property. Cars are already parked in the driveway when I arrive. I recognize Uncle Mike's truck, Aunt Lena's sedan, and several others. This isn't just immediate family. Riley! Mom practically bounces down the front steps. You made it! Come see everything! She drags me through the house, pointing out features like she's a real estate agent. Look at this kitchen and the fireplace, and wait until you see the master suite. The place is packed with relatives, neighbors, and family friends. Everyone's holding drinks and chatting excitedly. Summer's holding court near the fireplace, gesturing dramatically as she tells some story. "This is incredible, Sarah," says Andrea, one of Mom's longtime friends. "You and Dale must be so proud." "We are," Mom beams. "It's everything we dreamed of." Dad appears at my elbow with a beer. "Pretty great, isn't it, kiddo? Thanks to you, we can all enjoy this for years to come." "Where's Landon?" I asked, scanning the crowd for my brother. "He's around here somewhere," Dad says vaguely. "Probably on the back deck." I find Landon leaning against the deck railing, beer in hand, staring out at the mountains. He's 34, but looks older, with premature gray at his temples and lines around his eyes. "Hey, stranger," I say. He turns and gives me a tired smile. "Hey, Rye, nice party. When did you get back in town?" "Last week. Mom called. Said there was a big family announcement." He takes a long sip of beer. "Didn't expect this." "What do you mean?" Before he can answer, Dad's voice booms from inside. "Everyone, can I have your attention, please?" We file back into the living room. Dad's standing by the fireplace with Mom, both of them grinning like they've won the lottery. Summer's positioned right beside them, practically glowing. "Sarah and I want to thank everyone for being here today," Dad begins. "This house represents something really special to us: family, legacy, the importance of taking care of the people we love." Murmurs of agreement ripple through the crowd. "But today isn't just about celebrating this beautiful place," Dad continues. "It's about celebrating someone very special who deserves to call this home." My stomach drops. Dad reaches into his pocket and pulls out a set of keys. "Summer, sweetheart, come here." Summer steps forward, her eyes wide with fake surprise. But I can see it in her face. She knew this was coming. "Summer has been through so much these past few years," Mom says, her voice thick with emotion. "She's been searching for stability, for a place where she can really build her life. And Dale and I decided that this house should be hers." The crowd erupts in applause and cheers. Summer covers her face with her hands, playing the overwhelmed recipient perfectly. "We can't accept this," Aunt Lena protests weakly, but she's smiling. "Yes, you can," Dad says, pressing the keys into Summer's palm. "This is what family does. We take care of each other." I stand frozen as people rush to congratulate Summer. She's crying now, real tears, hugging my parents like they've saved her life. "Riley?" Mom appears at my side, her voice low. "I hope you understand how important this is. Summer needs this more than any of us." "I understand perfectly," I say. "Good. I was worried you might be, well, selfish about it. But you're better than that." Scarlett materializes next to me, her face carefully neutral. "Hey, you okay?" "I'm great," I say, loud enough for Mom to hear. "This is wonderful news." Scarlett's eyes narrow slightly. She knows me too well. Landon appears on my other side. "Rye, we should talk." "Later," I say. "I want to congratulate Summer first." I walk over to where Summer's still accepting congratulations. When she sees me coming, her expression shifts slightly, uncertain, maybe even guilty. "Summer," I say, pulling her into a hug. "Congratulations. You deserve this." "Riley, no, really, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect." I step back and address the room. "I want to thank my parents for including me in this incredible gift. It means so much to know that my contribution could help make Summer's dreams come true." The crowd applauds again. Dad beams at me proudly. Mom dabs at her eyes. But Summer's staring at me with a strange expression, like she's trying to figure out if I'm being sincere or setting her up. Smart girl. "To family!" Dad raises his beer. "To family!" everyone echoes. I raise my own drink and smile. Because they have no idea what they've just done. They have no idea that this house was never meant to be a gift. The invoice goes out exactly 1 week after the party. I use official letterhead from Tom's firm and send it certified mail, return receipt requested, professional, legitimate, terrifying. My phone rings at 8:47 a.m. the next day. "Riley, what the hell is this?" Dad's voice is shaking. "Good morning to you too, Dad. What's what?" "This bill. This invoice for $4,000. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, sipping coffee and watching the sunrise. Oh, that, it's your first loan payment, due in 30 days, as outlined in the contract you signed. Loan payment? Riley, you thought what, Dad? Mom's voice cuts in. She's on speaker. Riley, honey, there's been some kind of mistake. We gave the house to Summer. It's hers now. I know. I was there, remember? Beautiful ceremony. So why are you sending us a bill? I set down my coffee cup. Because you still owe me $80,000 plus interest. The house being gifted to Summer doesn't change your debt to me. Silence. Then Dad's voice, smaller now. But but we can't afford 4,000 a month. Then you shouldn't have signed a loan agreement for $80,000. Riley, this is ridiculous, Mom snaps. We're family. You can't charge us interest like we're strangers. Actually, I can. It's all legal and binding. Tom made sure of that. Tom? Your ex boyfriend, Tom? Riley, this is insane. What's insane is that you took my money and gave away the collateral without asking me first. Another long silence, then Dad again, pleading now. Sweetheart, surely we can work something out. Maybe reduce the payment amount, or the terms are non negotiable. 4,000 a month, or the house goes into foreclosure. Mom's voice turns icy. You're threatening to take Summer's house? I'm not threatening anything. I'm explaining the consequences of defaulting on a loan. The line goes dead. My phone buzzes with texts almost immediately. First from Summer. WTF is going on? Mom says you're trying to steal my house? Then from various family members as the word spreads. Uncle Mike. Riley, call me. We need to talk. Aunt Lena. Please don't do this to Summer. She's been through enough. I ignore them all and call Scarlett. Please tell me you're not actually surprised by this, she says without preamble. Not even a little bit. How's your research going? Oh, it's juicy. Your parents are in deeper financial trouble than they let on. Credit cards maxed out, behind on their mortgage. Dale's been unemployed for 3 months. 3 months? He told everyone he was consulting. Consulting his couch, maybe. And get this, Summer's been living rent free in their basement since her last breakup. She's not paying for anything. So they literally can't afford the payments. Not even close. Riley, they're going to lose their own house soon if they don't figure something out. That afternoon, Aunt Lena calls. Riley, I need to ask you something, and I want you to be honest with me. Okay. Did you plan this? The loan? The house? All of it? I pause. Lena's always been the most perceptive member of our family. What do you think? I think you're smarter than any of us gave you credit for, and I think Sarah and Dale finally pushed you too far. Are you going to lecture me about family loyalty? No, she says quietly. I'm going to tell you something I should have said years ago. What they did to you wasn't right. Using you as their personal ATM, always putting Summer first, taking credit for your successes while blaming you for their problems. I watched it happen and I said nothing. And I'm sorry. I feel tears prick my eyes. Lena. But Riley, Summer doesn't know about any of that history. To her, you're just trying to steal her house. Is that fair? Was it fair when they used my college fund to pay for Summer's car? Was it fair when they missed my promotion celebration because Summer had a crisis? Was it fair when they told everyone I was selfish for not lending them money for Summer's credit card debt? Lena sighs. No, none of that was fair. Then don't ask me to be fair now. That evening, my parents show up at my apartment. I buzz them up, curious to see what their next move will be. Dad looks haggard. Mom's makeup is smudged like she's been crying. Riley, please, Dad starts. We need to find a solution here. I'm listening. What if we sell the house and split the proceeds? You get your money back, Summer gets something to start over with. The house is Summer's now, remember? She'd have to agree to sell it. She will, Mom says quickly, if it means keeping the family together. I lean back in my chair. And if she won't? They exchange glances. She will, Mom repeats, but her voice wavers. Well then, you better hope you're right, because the payment is due in 3 weeks. After they leave, I pour myself a glass of wine and call Tom. How bulletproof is this contract? I ask. Completely. They could hire the best lawyer in the state and still lose. Riley, are you sure you want to go through with this? I think about Summer's face at the party, glowing with unearned triumph, about my parents' casual dismissal of my feelings, about 32 years of being taken for granted. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. The family group chat explodes on Thursday morning. I wake up to 47 unread messages. Mom, Riley has lost her mind. She's trying to steal Summer's house with some predatory loan scam. Uncle Mike, what the hell is going on? Sarah called me crying. Aunt Janet, Riley, this is not who you are. Family doesn't do this to family. Cousin Beth, wait, what? Someone explain, please. Summer, Riley tricked my aunt and uncle into signing papers so she could take my house. She's been planning this the whole time. I screenshot the conversation and send it to Scarlett with a message. And so it begins. My phone rings immediately. Jesus, Riley. They're really going scorched earth on you. I expected this. Mom's always been good at playing victim when she gets caught. Are you okay, though? This has to hurt. I look at the group chat, watching more family members pile on. People I've helped over the years, people who've borrowed money from me, people who've never questioned why I'm always the one expected to fix everyone's problems. Actually, it's kind of liberating. More messages flood in throughout the day. Some family members demand explanations. Others take sides immediately. A few ask for the full story, but most just assume I've suddenly turned into a monster. The only person who doesn't pile on is Landon. He calls me around lunch. So, he says, want to tell me what's really going on? You mean besides me being a heartless bitch who's trying to steal Summer's house? Yeah, besides that. I give him the full story. The loan documents, the party ambush, the complete dismissal of my investment. He listens without interrupting. Holy shit, Rye. Yeah, they really thought they could just take your money and give away the house? Apparently. And now they can't afford the payments? Not even close. Scarlett did some digging. They're broke. Landon's quiet for a long moment. You know what? Good for you. What? I said good for you. Do you know what they did with my college fund? My stomach drops. Landon. Summer needed a car. Summer needed help with rent. Summer needed money for her business venture that lasted 3 months. $25,000 gone. And when I confronted them about it, you know what Dad said? What? He said family helps family, and I was being selfish for not understanding that Summer needed help more than I needed college. I closed my eyes. I didn't know. Of course you didn't, because they made me promise not to tell anyone, said it would hurt the family dynamic if people knew. Landon, I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. Be proud. You're finally doing what I should have done years ago. That evening, the group chat gets even uglier. Mom posts a long message about how disappointed she is in me, how I've betrayed the family's trust, how I'm using money to hurt people I'm supposed to love. Then, Andrea, Mom's friend from the party, chimes in. Sarah, I'd be happy to help. I could buy the house from Summer for what Riley paid, and then Summer could pay Riley back. Problem solved. I stare at the message Andrea's offering to bail them out, to make their problem disappear. Just like always. I type back, that's very generous, Andrea, but the house isn't for sale. The loan terms are clear. Andrea, Riley, surely you can be reasonable here. This is tearing your family apart. Me. The family tore itself apart when they decided to steal my money. Mom, we didn't steal anything. We included you in a family investment and you're twisting it into something ugly. Me. You took $80,000 from me and gave the house to Summer without asking. What would you call that? Summer. I never asked for any of this. You're punishing me for something I didn't even know about. That stops me cold. I stare at the message, and for a moment I feel a flicker of doubt. Then Landon posts in the chat. Actually, Summer, you did know. I was there when Mom and Dad told you the plan 3 weeks before the party. You said, and I quote, it's about time Riley contributed something meaningful to this family. The chat goes silent. Summer. That's not what I meant. Landon. Isn't it? Because you also said you were tired of Riley acting like she was better than everyone just because she had money. Summer. Landon, you're twisting my words. Landon, am I? Because I have a pretty good memory. Want me to keep going? No one responds. Then Aunt Lena posts, I think we all need to take a step back here. This situation is complicated, and there's obviously a lot of hurt on all sides. Mom, there's nothing complicated about it. Riley is being vindictive and cruel. Lena, Sarah, with all due respect, maybe it's time to ask why Riley felt the need to protect herself legally in the first place. The chat goes quiet again. I turn off my phone and pour myself a glass of wine. Outside my window, the city lights twinkle peacefully. My apartment is quiet, clean, mine. For the first time in years, I'm not worried about who needs what from me. I'm not calculating how much I can afford to give away. I'm not managing anyone's crisis but my own. It feels strange, lonely, but also free. My phone buzzes with a text from Tom. Payment due in 6 days. You ready for this? I type back, more ready than I've ever been. The formal notice of default arrives at my parents' house on Monday morning. Tom hand delivers it himself, professional and thorough. They have 72 hours to cure the default or face foreclosure proceedings. Dad calls me at work, his voice barely controlled. Riley, you can't be serious about this. I'm completely serious. But it's Summer's house. She's living there. You can't just throw her out on the street. I'm not throwing anyone anywhere. You defaulted on a loan. This is what happens when you default. She's your cousin. She's family. So am I, Dad. But that didn't stop you from screwing me over. The line goes quiet except for Dad's heavy breathing. What do you want? He finally asks. Money? We'll find the money somehow. $4,000, plus late fees, plus the legal costs for the default notice. We don't have it, Riley. You know we don't have it. Then you shouldn't have signed the loan. I hang up and immediately call Tom. They got the notice? Delivered this morning. Dale called me 20 minutes later, screaming about predatory lending and family betrayal. What did you tell him? That everything was legal and binding, and if he had concerns, he should consult his own attorney. Did he threaten to sue? He threatened a lot of things, none of them actionable. That afternoon, Summer shows up at my office. The receptionist calls to tell me there's someone here to see me, and when I walk out to the lobby, Summer's sitting in one of the leather chairs, looking smaller than I've ever seen her. We need to talk, she says. I lead her to a conference room and close the door. Riley, please, I'm begging you, don't take my house. It's not your house, Summer. It never was. It's collateral on a loan your parents can't afford. But I didn't know. I swear I didn't know about the loan when they gave it to me. I study her face. She looks genuinely distressed, but Summer's always been good at looking like whatever she needs to look like. Landon says otherwise. Landon's lying, or maybe he misunderstood what I said. I never wanted to hurt you. Really? Because Scarlett did some digging into your social media. Want to know what she found? Summer's face goes pale. 3 weeks before the party, you posted about how excited you were to finally get what you deserve and how some people think money makes them special, but karma has other plans. That wasn't about you, wasn't it? Because the timing's pretty convenient. Summer starts crying. Real tears, not the performative kind she usually does. Okay, fine. Maybe I knew they were asking you for money. But I didn't know about the loan terms. I thought it was just family helping family. Family helping family would have been asking me if I wanted to co own a vacation house, not tricking me into financing one and then giving it away. I know, it was wrong. But Riley, I have nowhere else to go. If you take the house, I'll be homeless. You can move back in with your parents or get a job and rent an apartment like everyone else. I can't afford rent. I'm still looking for work. You've been looking for work for 3 years, Summer. She wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. What do you want me to do? Beg? Fine, I'm begging. Please don't do this. I want you to convince your parents to pay their debt. They can't. They're broke. Then I guess you're homeless. Summer's tears turn to anger. You know what? Everyone's right about you. You are a cold, heartless bitch. You're destroying this family because you're jealous that mom and dad love me more than you. I stand up. This conversation is over. You think this makes you powerful? You think this makes you better than us? All this proves is that you're petty and vindictive and. Get out. You're going to regret this, Riley. When you're old and alone and have no family left, you're going to remember this moment and realize what you threw away. I said, "Get out." She storms out, slamming the conference room door behind her. That evening, Landon calls. I heard Summer paid you a visit. News travels fast. She called Mom crying, said you were cruel to her. Mom's organizing some kind of intervention. An intervention? Family meeting, tomorrow night. They want everyone there to talk sense into you. Are you going? Wouldn't miss it. This should be entertaining. Landon, there's something I need to tell you. Scarlett found some things about Mom and Dad's finances. It's worse than we thought. How much worse? They're 3 months behind on their mortgage. Credit cards are maxed. Dad hasn't worked in months. They were counting on my money to solve all their problems, not just buy a vacation house. Landon's quiet for a long moment. So this was never about family legacy. It was about using me to bail them out. Again. Jesus, Rye, how deep does this go? Deep enough that losing the house might be the least of their problems. Are you going to the family meeting? I look out my apartment window at the city lights, thinking about all the years I've sat through family meetings where I was lectured about responsibility and sacrifice and putting family first. Yeah, I say. I think it's time everyone heard the whole truth. The foreclosure auction is scheduled for 10 a.m. on a gray Tuesday morning. I arrive at the courthouse steps 15 minutes early, wearing my best business suit and carrying a leather briefcase. Tom stands beside me, equally professional. You sure about this? He asks for the 10th time. Positive. A small crowd has gathered. The auctioneer, a few real estate investors, some curious onlookers, and my family. Mom and Dad stand near the courthouse entrance, both looking like they've aged 10 years in the past month. Summer's beside them, her eyes red and puffy. Aunt Lena hovers nearby, looking uncomfortable. Uncle Mike paces back and forth, shooting angry glances in my direction. Landon leans against a lamppost, arms crossed, watching everything with detached interest. Ladies and gentlemen, the auctioneer calls out, we're here today for the foreclosure sale of 12 and 47 Mountain View Drive. Opening bid is $85,000. 85,000, I call out immediately. A few investors glance at the property listing, then at each other. One raises his hand. 90,000. 95,000, I counter. The investor studies me for a moment, then shakes his head and steps back. Smart man. He can tell I'm not here to flip a house. Any other bids? The auctioneer asks. Silence. Going once, going twice, sold to bidder number 7 for $95,000. That's it. It's over. Summer collapses against Dad, sobbing. Mom stares at me with pure hatred. Uncle Mike starts walking toward me, his face red with anger. You happy now? He shouts. You destroyed your own family for what? Money? Mike, don't! Lena warns, grabbing his arm. No, I want to hear her explain this. Riley, how do you justify what you just did? I look around at the faces staring at me. Family members who've known me my entire life, who've watched me bail out one crisis after another, who've never once questioned why I was always the one expected to sacrifice. You want an explanation? I say. Fine, here's your explanation. I pull out a folder from my briefcase. 3 months ago, Mom and Dad asked me to invest $80,000 in a family vacation house. They said it would be our legacy, something we could all share. That's right, Mom says. And then you. I'm not finished. My voice cuts through hers like ice. What they didn't tell me was that they were 3 months behind on their mortgage, that Dad had been unemployed for months, that their credit cards were maxed out and they were facing bankruptcy. Uncle Mike's expression shifts slightly. What are you talking about? I pull out bank statements, credit reports, foreclosure notices. They weren't buying a vacation house, they were using my money to solve their financial crisis. And when they realized they couldn't afford the loan payments, they decided to give the house to Summer so I couldn't get my money back. That's not true, Dad says weakly. Isn't it? I turn to Summer. Tell them about the conversation you had with Mom 3 weeks before the party. The one where she told you the house would be yours. Summer's face crumbles. I I didn't tell them about your social media posts about how you were finally going to get what you deserve and how some people think money makes them special. Riley, stop, Lena says quietly. No, I won't stop. For 32 years, I've been the responsible one, the one who bails everyone out, the one who sacrifices so Summer can have what she wants. My college fund paid for her car, my savings covered her credit card debt, my promotion bonus went to their mortgage payment. The crowd has gone completely silent, and every single time I was told it was temporary, that they'd pay me back. That family helps family. I laughed bitterly. But when I needed help, when I was struggling with my own bills, suddenly I was being selfish for asking. Riley, Mom's voice is barely a whisper. We never meant, you never meant to get caught. There's a difference. I turned to address the whole group. You want to know why I did this? Because I finally realized that I'm not their daughter or their niece or their family member. I'm their ATM. And ATMs don't have feelings. Summer lifts her head, mascara streaking down her cheeks. I never asked for any of this. Yes, you did. Every time you played victim, every time you let them bail you out with my money, every time you acted like their love was something you earned instead of something you manipulated, you asked for this. The auctioneer approaches with paperwork. I sign the documents, officially becoming the owner of the house I paid for twice. Congratulations, Tom says quietly. But I don't feel congratulated. I feel empty. Vindicated, but empty. Mom walks over to me, her face streaked with tears. I hope you're proud of yourself. I am. You've destroyed this family. No, Mom. I just stopped letting you destroy me. She stares at me for a long moment, then turns and walks away. Dad follows her, his shoulders slumped. Summer trails behind them, still crying. One by one, the rest of the family disperses. Some shoot me angry looks. Others just seem confused. A few, like Lena, look almost relieved. Only Landon approaches me. So, he says, how does it feel? I look up at the courthouse, at the official documents in my hand, at the scattered remains of my family walking away. Ask me tomorrow. I'm sitting on the front porch of the mountain house when Landon's truck pulls into the driveway. It's been 2 weeks since the auction, and this is the first time I've actually stayed here overnight. Nice place, he says, climbing the steps with 2 cups of coffee. Expensive taste. Should be. I paid for it twice. He hands me a cup and settles into the chair beside me. How are you holding up? Honestly, I don't know. I thought I'd feel more satisfied. Regrets? I consider this. No, not regrets. Just emptiness, I guess. Like, I won a war, but lost something else in the process. The family group chat's been quiet. I left it. Smart. Mom's been posting passive aggressive quotes about forgiveness and betrayal. Dad's trying to get people to loan them money for a lawyer. Any takers? Uncle Mike offered $1,000. That's it. We sit in comfortable silence, watching the morning mist rise from the mountains. The house really is beautiful, peaceful, everything they said it would be. I found something, Landon says, pulling an envelope from his jacket, when I was helping them pack up their stuff from the basement. What is it? Letter from Grandma Rose, addressed to you. My heart stops. Grandma Rose died 5 years ago, but she was the only family member who ever really understood me. I take the envelope with shaking hands. Riley, I read aloud. If you're reading this, it means the family has finally pushed you too far. I'm writing this because I know someday they will, and I want you to know that whatever you do to protect yourself, you have my blessing. Landon leans forward. Keep going. I've watched them use you your entire life. I've seen how they take your kindness for weakness, your generosity for obligation. I've bitten my tongue too many times when I should have spoken up. That's my failure, not yours. My voice cracks slightly. I'm leaving you this letter because I want you to know that real family doesn't keep score. Real family doesn't use love as currency. Real family doesn't make one person carry everyone else's burdens. Jesus, Landon whispers. Whatever you've done to finally stand up for yourself, I'm proud of you. Don't let them make you feel guilty for refusing to be their victim anymore. You deserve better than what they've given you. You always have. I fold the letter carefully, tears blurring my vision. There's more, Landon says. She left you something else. What? Her house, the one in Portland. It's been sitting in a trust waiting for you to claim it. Mom and Dad don't know about it. I stare at him. Grandma Rose left me her house? Free and clear. No mortgage, no strings attached. Just yours. Why didn't anyone tell me? Because the lawyer was instructed to only contact you if you specifically asked about her estate. She didn't want the family pressuring you about it. I laugh, and it comes out half sob. She knew. Even from the grave, she knew they'd try to get their hands on it. She knew you'd need an escape route eventually. My phone buzzes with a text from Scarlett. Saw the news about your parents' house going into foreclosure. You okay? I show Landon the message. The dominoes are still falling. Are you going to help them? No, even if they lose everything? Especially if they lose everything. Maybe that's what it takes for them to finally understand consequences. Landon nods slowly. I've been thinking about what you said at the courthouse, about being the family ATM. Yeah? I think I've been the family disappointment for so long. I forgot I had a choice in the matter. What do you mean? I mean, I'm done apologizing for not being Summer. I'm done feeling guilty for having boundaries. I'm done letting them make me feel like the black sheep because I won't play their games. Good for you. I was thinking, maybe we could be our own family, the two of us. Start fresh. I look at my brother, really look at him. He's got the same tired eyes I see in the mirror, the same weight of years spent trying to earn love that should have been freely given. I'd like that. Good. Because I was also thinking, that house in Portland is pretty big for one person. Are you asking to be my roommate? I'm asking to be your brother, the real kind, the kind who shows up when you need them, not when they need something from you. I reach over and squeeze his hand. Deal. A car pulls into the driveway, and we both tense. But it's just Tom carrying a bottle of champagne and wearing a grin. Thought you might want to celebrate, he calls out, climbing the steps. Celebrate what? Your parents' attorney called. They're dropping the lawsuit. Apparently, they can't afford to fight you anymore. Landon raises his coffee cup. To consequences? Tom pops the champagne. To justice. I look out at the mountains, at the house I fought for, at the two people who've stood by me through this whole mess. The emptiness is still there, but it's not as sharp now. It's more like space, room to build something new. To family, I say, the kind you choose. We drink to that, and for the first time in weeks, I feel something other than anger or sadness. I feel hope.